All right, my story is called A Man of Great Laughter, which my grandfather was not. He was probably depressed. He would get angry with his coworkers, didn't have jobs that lasted very long. So my mom, who met my dad in junior high school in Whitley County, Indiana, grew up and left. Moved to Philadelphia where I grew up. Didn't leave just because of him, but certainly he was one of the reasons. And he lived to be about 80, 86, and he died. So we drove out to the funeral. And in Indiana, they don't wait till the weekend. It's like 2 days later, they bury him. So I had to take off from work, got in the folks' minivan, we drove out there. And I had, at the time, gastrointestinal distress, which is bad to have when you're on the road and bad to have when you're going to Ohio, where everything's like deep fried cheese, and going to this funeral with my mom, who's got this thing with her dad, and it's just... So my approach was, I wouldn't eat much, and I'd go to the bathroom whenever I got the opportunity, every rest stop I had. So we're driving out there, we go to the funeral happens. By 5 o'clock the next day, we're driving back to Philadelphia. And it's night, it's in Ohio. We come to this little rest stop. And it was a strange little rest stop, and I was having real problems. So I run out to the rest stop, and I go in there, and there's one urinal and one toilet stall, and there's a guy in the toilet stall. And I'm sitting here going, this can't be. But then I noticed around the corner of this weird little rest stop that there was a closet that they had turned into a handicap stall. So I go in there. And I'm there for a while. And it's not pleasant. So my dad comes in. He saunters in, Mr. 9 cups of coffee before you go to sleep. Goes to the urinal, and he doesn't realize that this guy in the stall isn't me. So he says to the guy in the stall, having seen me on this trip, he says, "So do you take a dump every time you go to the bathroom?" I'm around the corner in a certain amount of pain, and yet I start laughing. And it's like laughing in church where you can't stop. So I'm in like pain from laughing and from diarrhea at the same time, which is a really unique experience. So I'm in there for a while, and then I'm ready to go. I get out. My dad is already walking down towards the car along the sidewalk. And I walk up to him. It's at night. There's like no one there. And I say, "Dad, that guy you were talking to, he wasn't me." "What? You just asked a complete stranger if he took a dump every time you went to the bathroom." I start laughing. He starts laughing. We're like drunks, leaning on each other, walking down this pathway, having just gone through this funeral and all this stress. We get in the car. He starts driving down the road. My mother says, "What's so funny?" I say, "I was in there and, tell him the story. They came to this stranger and said, 'Do you always take a dump every time you go to the bathroom?'" She starts laughing. I start laughing. He starts laughing. She starts laughing so hard, she starts crying. I thought we were going to drive off the road. But we didn't. We recovered. We left Indiana, left the funeral, left the town they grew up in, through Pennsylvania to Philadelphia. My mother in her car with her husband and her son, 2 men of great laughter. Thank you.